on this computer. John.
Good evening. My name is John Michael Foulger. I'm represented by Liz Management. Oh, I apologise, by Mary Liz Management. She'll kill me for getting that wrong. I've been a professional actor for over 30 years now, so I'm very, very, very old. And I'm known for film, television, stage, plenty of commercials. You will have seen me, unfortunately. On to you, Rachel. God, I'm not doing well today.
That's okay. I'll go by that if you like, John. I'm Rachael Caulton. I've been an actor for about 10 years. I'm currently self-represented, but that may change over the new year. Very exciting. Yeah, I don't have much to say other than that. You probably haven't seen me. Whether that's a good thing or not, I'll let you decide.
Thanks, Rachel. I'm Angela Elliott. I'm a scriptwriter and novelist. Been doing it for about 35 years. Started off in documentaries, drama, TV, anything that anybody will pay me for, basically. So today we're going to be reading Arbitrium. Could be Arbitrium. I'm not sure. Written by Meik Fischer. So, over black. You are free to make whatever choice you want, but you are not free from the consequences of that choice. Unknown. Interior. Gritty bar somewhere in Mexico. Day. Tucked away in a corner. Roman cane. 40s. Sits alone at a small round table for two. Well built, neatly dressed, well groomed. Not the usual customer here. 3 empty shot glasses and a mug of flat beer keep him company. He keeps a wary eye on the exit. Exterior, gritty bar day. The black SUV pulls into the curb. 2 bodyguards pile out and scan the area. One opens the rear door. Diane Likowski, 40s, a bright, athletic woman with raven hair and no bullshit look, slides out with feline grace that would put a cat to shame. Interior, gritty bar day. Diane makes a beeline for the bored bartender, busy polishing a glass with a stained towel. She slides a few bills over to him. He grabs the cash and nods in Roman's direction. She clocks her target and strolls elegantly to his table.
Roman?
Diane?
May I?
Please.
Diane grabs the seat and her eyes drop to the empty shot glasses.
Tequila any good?
Best in town. Wouldn't recommend a beer, though.
He signals the barkeep. Diane and Roman sit in comfortable silence. It's not their first rodeo. The bartender pops by and drops off a faceless bottle of tequila with 2 clean shot glasses. He gathers the empties and disappears in a sweaty cloud. Diane makes a face.
Oh my God.
Roman smiles and pours 2 shots.
Yeah. He may not have the best hygiene, but you wouldn't find a better tequila in the country.
He makes it himself.
You're sitting right above it.
Convenient, logistically speaking. Wow.
Right.
They savour the taste. Diane refills their shots.
I heard Jiro's Yakuza are still mad at you.
They'll get over it.
You shouldn't have said no.
You shouldn't have asked.
I'm curious. The money is more than enough. The job is almost laughably easy for someone like you. Why say no? Is it the client? Or the target? You're usually not this picky, Roman. Oh my God, the rumours are true. You're serious about this.
As serious as the tequila.
So what's next? Maybe start a coin collection or, God forbid, a stamp collection?
Until you try, you can't know what you can't do.
Quote Henry James all you want, Roman. Retirement doesn't suit you. I bet you'll be bored out of your mind in less than a month.
Until you try, you can't.
Oh, bite me. Damn, this is good.
Right.
Interior, exterior, black SUV, day. Diane's bodyguards board the SUV. Roman opens the rear door for Diane.
McGollan's not going to be pleased about this.
Come on. When is he ever pleased about anything?
Let me know when you find out. Thanks for the drink.
Anytime.
Roman shuts the door and steps back. She opens the window as the SUV starts up.
You're going to have to watch your back from now on. You know that, right?
I do.
And I'm not just talking about Giro.
I know.
Their eyes lock. A silent moment passes between them, an awkward moment for an outsider, but a feeling of deep respect between these two.
Take care, Roman.
Diane pulls out her phone and signals the driver. Roman watches the SUV race towards the horizon. Interior Washington, D.C. day. A wealthy, well-furnished office. Parked behind a desk so big it probably has its own gravity field, an overweight McGallen, 50s, ends a call on his burner phone. With a growl, he hurls it against the wall.
Motherfucker!
He leaps up and struts around his office, ready to pop a blood vessel.
That motherfucker!
He stops at the window and eyes the Washington Monument in the distance, a stone finger pointed accusingly at an angry grey sky. He digs out his other phone, scrolls through a list of names and stops at asshole. His finger hovers over the call button. A shadow of doubt flutters across his face. He shakes it off and hits call. Interior Himura Tower in Tokyo, night. A well-dressed Jiro Himura, 50s, gazes at Tokyo's colourful lights through the window of his luxurious office. The cell on his desk rings. Jiro takes his sweet time to answer the call. He knows who it is.
What?
Is that how we answer the phone now? Just grunt. What? Not enough time anymore for two-syllable words like hello.
What do you want, Mr. McGallen?
Whoa, a whole sentence now. Jiro, you're smothering me.
My patience is very thin today. I strongly suggest you get to the point.
Interior Washington, D.C. day. McGallen perches on his desk, smartphone pinned to his ear. With predatory eyes, he watches his young female assistant, Rita, 20s, gathering the shattered remains of his recent outburst.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and assume you already know about the sudden curveball we've been thrown.
You assume correct.
I just want to let you know that I've put a countermeasure in place. Our plan will soon be right back on track.
Good. I expect an update on this matter by tomorrow.
McGallen hesitates. Fuck, that's not much time.
Sure.
Interior Himura Tower in Tokyo, night. Jiro opens a desk drawer.
And Mr. McGallen?
What?
A row of 4 expensive wristwatches stare up at Jiro. There's an empty space between them.
My current plans do not include a flight to the US. Do not force me to change that.
Got it.
Jiro ends the call. He scowls and presses a button on his desk. 2 of his goons enter the office.
Get my son.
Interior Washington, D.C. day. McGallen tucks his cell away.
God, I hate that guy.
The assistant heads for the door with the remains of McGallen's outburst.
Wait,
She watches him painfully, trying to remember her name. It's Rita.
Yeah, Rita. I need you to cancel all my meetings today.
Sir, are you sure? One of those meetings is with the vice president.
Yeah, well, I got more pressing matters to attend to today, okay? Tell her I'm out of town, family business or something, oh? And get me a list of all foreign assets that are currently on this side of the lake.
We follow Rita as she hurries out of the door and shuts it. A sign on the door reads Senator Joseph McGallen, Intelligence Committee. Exterior Port Warehouse day. Row on rows of workers prepare boxes of various fish with loads of ice. Roman strolls past them into the depths of this huge building. The deeper we go, the larger the fish get. Roman pops through the PVC strip curtains into a smaller section of the building. Workers at large tables stuff shrink-wrapped blocks of heroin in fish almost as large as the table itself. Nearby, guards keep a close eye on things. One clocks Roman and opens a metal door in the back. Roman steps through and the guard follows him down a stained corridor. They stop at an incredibly ornamented wooden door. Interior Himura Tower in Tokyo, night. Jiro waits at his desk, hands folded. The door flies open and his men wrestle the dishevelled addict Riku, 20, into the office. They force him into a chair and back away.
I'll have your hands chopped off and fed to rats. What is this? Why do you drag me here like some street trash?
Jiro opens the drawer and places the remaining 4 watches on his desk, one after the other. A wave of fear rushes through Riku. The rebel in him fades away. Jiro stares at his son, a gaze that can freeze hell.
Listen, I can explain. I needed cash and you cut me off, so I... Enough!
Riku shrinks into his chair.
Not only do you bring disgrace to this family, you also bring disgrace to everyone around you. This ends today. You can't give up on me. I can fight this. Give me another chance. Please? I've given you too many chances when I should have been cruel the day this all started. Look at you. You look like a bum. You beg. You plead. You embarrass not only me, but yourself as well. The shadow of the son I once knew. What? What are you saying? You've given up on yourself a long time ago. Now it's my time to give up on you.
He nods at his men and they move in on Riku. Riku flies out of his chair.
No, wait. I can change, Father. I can change. Please, don't do this. Please.
The men grab Riku and drag him towards the door. He tries to free himself but fails miserably. Jiro ignores the scene and places his watch back in the drawer with delicate precision. The door slams shut and we hear a muffled Riku.
You'll pay for this. You'll all pay for this.
Interior, Delgado's office day. Carlos Delgado, 40s, turns from his little bar, a drink in each hand. He's barely 5'6", but his ego makes up for it in big time.
This is one of my favourites. A Gordon and MacPhail single malt. 80 years old. Everything else is just dog piss. Please, come in.
Roman steps away from that beautiful ornamented door. The office is incredible, more like a lounge from a fancy men's club. It's like stepping into a different dimension. Plush, expensive furnishings, bookshelves line mahogany panelled walls, luxurious leather chairs guard a large fireplace. Delgado meets Roman halfway and hands him a drink. He nods at the fireplace.
Come, sit.
Thanks. There we are. Okay. Sorry you ended up talking to yourself there, Rachel. It was but anyway, thoughts on that? Stewart, you were listening for most of it. What came to you?
Well, apologies because I missed the first page or half page, so I was kind of trying to work out where it was set, etc. But I'm just looking back now, so I can see it's in Mexico. Yeah, I mean, okay, from what I can see, because this was a completely cold read, like most of us, I believe, this was some kind of drugs ring going on, and I mean, from what I could see, the script was quite well written. The characters were starting to come out and be developed. The father and the son, Chinese father and son. That was quite nice. Roman, I'm trying to work out, to be honest, I'm trying to work out who's who. And okay, so yeah, all right, okay, I've got it. And then McGallin, that seems like a quite an interesting character development there. Intelligence officer in Washington DC. I mean, this is pretty much sort of stock stuff, if I'm honest, in terms of like some crime, drugs ring going on. There didn't seem anything that jumped out that surprised me and thought, oh, this is different or original. So it's kind of fairly formulaic from what I can see. I mean, quite well done of its type and genre, but I'd like to see something a bit more original coming out, I guess. Maybe that'll come out later. Maybe it'll have a twist later. So I think those are my initial thoughts at the moment. Okay, so apologies.
Thanks, John.
Yeah. First thing is, when is it set? We know where it is, but we've no idea when. Now, from what we've read, Roman Kane, I'm going to assume, is some kind of an assassin. And this is all around basically drugs and whatnot. It's, as Stewart says, it's fairly generic. You know, it's Narcos, it's Breaking Bad. it doesn't appear to be anything that hasn't been portrayed again and again and again. I like the characters. I like where it's going. I would watch it. There is no doubt about that. But it does genuinely seem like something we've all seen before. I apologize if that hurts you, but that's what I see in these first 10 pages. But I would still watch it because I enjoy that kind of program.
Okay, thank you. Rachel?
Yeah, sorry, my internet messed up a little bit there.
Your sound's not fabulous, Rachel.
I don't think it messed up the reading, so hopefully that's all fine. You can hear me okay now, can't you?
We can't really make out what you're saying.
It's quite muffled, your voice.
Rachel, your thoughts?
Yes. So I agree with what John and Stuart have said in that we've seen it before. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Maybe you've got something coming up on page 11 that's completely crazy and we don't know about that yet. I would say just maybe bring that in earlier. Get it in that first 10 pages so that we're hooked right from the start. Having said that, I thought the dialogue at the start with Diane and Roman was really natural and nice and flowed well. It was a really easy script to read for me. Even though I was talking to myself at some point, which was a nice acting exercise. I thought Megalin was an interesting character as well. And I could see that the stakes were sort of up in page 8 kind of onwards as well, which again is drawing our interest in. Yeah, it's a nicely written script. I think we just need that little something extra in that first 10 pages.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, kind of what you guys have said, really. I made a few notes. I think 5 minutes, essentially 5 pages is 5 minutes of Diane and Roman where nothing much really happens other than they talk. I guess we're learning a little bit about them, but I'm wondering whether we can do that in a shorter space of time, or maybe even intercut it with the next scene, where we have, you know, the conversation. I don't know. I'm just wondering. It is a sort of a predictable setup for this type of a story, and once you get past Roman and Diane, I actually really like the phone call and the Giro's business, and all of that works really well. I'm left wondering after the first 10 minutes why we haven't come back to one of the earlier 2 characters, and that makes me think, whose story is this? You know, so I think you have to decide if it is Roman's story. I'm assuming it's Roman's story, only because Diane seems to be like, you know, the boss type lady, the boss lady, you know, in the limo, and the maybe she's putting some pressure on him somewhere. I don't know about that relationship yet. But I'm assuming it's not her story. I'm assuming this is going to be Roman's story, and if it's not Roman's story, then I don't know why he's there at the start. Just a little. I know 10 pages isn't a lot to go on, but I do think by the time you got us to 10 minutes in, we need to have identified who the main character is. And so a lot of that setup stuff with the other characters can happen quite quickly and intercut, and then maybe spread it out a little bit later. We need to come back to the main character. Just my feeling. There was a couple of other things. I thought, how will we know, the audience know, it's heroin they're packing in there? There's a massive assumption that, you know, they've got blocks of something. Could be cheese for all we know. I mean, so I know it's unlikely. I don't know. And I know we're not going to have big labels on it which say heroin and stick it in the fish.
I can't imagine there being any cheese that you would.
No, I know. I'm just trying to think of something. But I'm just trying to think. There needs to be some without some big, you know,
big pointer
banner saying heroin going into fish. Or
they usually taste a bit, don't they, or something?
Yes,
you know,
exactly.
They do a little test of it. Oh, this is good quality.
Stuff? You know, maybe as the boss walks through, he samples a bit, you know, and tells them to. I don't know, but it just came to mind as that. And the other thing is, there's one place in page 7 which kind of slightly bugs me, because this is the sort of thing that does bug me, unfortunately, and that is I'm just looking for it now. There's a bit where it's a bit of action, and I've lost the bloody page now. That's page 6, page 7. And you may think this is nothing, but at the bottom of page 6, about page 7, you've got the assistant heads for the door with the remains of Magellan's outburst. This is Rita. She's heading for the door. Okay. Magellan says, oh, first of all, if you've named her and identified her, don't call her the assistant. Call her by her name. Okay. The assistant could be someone else. All right. So it's really important. You can do that in a book, in a novel. You can say, if you've said Rita the assistant does blah 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 blah, and later you can say the assistant, but not in a script. Now you've got a bit of dialogue from Magellan. God, I hate that guy. Then the assistant heads for the door with the remains of Magellan's outburst, and Magellan says, "Wait, she watches him painfully, trying to remember her name. Now we know who it is, but you have to say Rita, not she." You can only say she if it's a complete follow-on from her. And that's kind of basic sort of grammar as well, in actual fact. You've interjected another character between the assistant and her next mention. So you have to call her by her name again. You have to identify her again. And I'm sorry about that. I don't, don't worry about it too much. It's just the kind of thing that sort of bugs me a little bit. And you have to remember, you want to try and be as clear as you possibly can in a script, so there's no room for error as to who's doing what, where, and when. But other than that, yeah, I would like to know where it's going. I actually do love this kind of movie. I'm afraid I'm a bit of a.
Actually, Angela, can I just say one other thing?
Yeah.
What I really liked was there was a lot of older characters.
Yeah, definitely.
Lots of people in their 40s and 50s, and that's quite refreshing to see.
Yeah.
I have to say.
Absolutely.
You might just creep in there, Stewart.
Well, I know.
Anyway.
Unfortunately, Rachel, you don't stand a chance.
No, you wouldn't just do them.
That's all right. I'll wait for those roles.
Thank you very much.
If I may just interject one more thing.
Yeah.
Having just reread it again, we get reintroduced to Roman later on. Now,
Okay.
I would probably shift the entire scene between Diane and Roman to after that,
Yeah.
where we get a reintroduction, of Roman, so you get an idea of who Roman is.
Yeah.
Because as you say, that bit being at the front doesn't really do anything to grab us.
No.
And it's the first 5 minutes of any script.
Exactly.
I
mean, it's literally not making us really. We're kind of going, okay.
Yeah.
Guy in a bar. Okay. So what?
You know from experience, Angela, that people who are going to buy this will look at the first 5 pages and go, yeah, no, nothing.
Not only that, they look at the first page and decide
Yeah.
whether they're going to read on to the next 10.
Yeah, I mean, nobody sits down and reads the whole script.
I quite like him in the bar, and I like her in the car.
Yeah, I mean, I like the whole scene.
I like the setup of it.
I would move it to later on. That's all.
But it's not. Yeah, it's not doing them any justice.
No.
Yeah.
No. If you started with the senator, then when you drop into this bit about Diana and Roman talking, it would start to make sense. I've already made deals to cover this and that and the other thing, because you're getting the characters mentioned. So when you drop into that scene of them in the bar, we know who these people are.
At what point? Just a quick. At what point? And I need to go through this again. At what point do they mention this guy?
Oh, Roman again in the very last page.
Okay. There you go. So
you've got that bit.
Okay.
Delgado's office day.
Yeah.
Delgado turns from his little bar, drinking each hand. He says his line, and then it's Delgado meets Roman halfway, hands him a drink.
Yeah. So what I think needs to happen is that 5 minutes needs to be at the beginning, needs to be shortened, and then we need to get straight to McGowan so that we know that, okay, this is the guy they were talking about, there's something going on, and then we can cut to the other stuff, and so it's just about slicing it up so that
Yeah.
it intrigues you to
Yeah.
what's going on.
It's just to get that hook in early.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all.
All right. Brilliant. Thank you, guys. That's excellent.
Thank you.